Hi everyone, welcome to Wealthy Mindset. My name is Oliver. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys are having a great day like always. In today's video, I'm going to be covering BlackBerry, GameStop, AMC, Nokia, and the Dow Jones just to cover the whole entire market overall. This is for trading day March 2nd. I'm going to give you guys the highs and the lows by analyzing the graph with a little bit of fundamentals. And also, if you're interested in future videos in terms of stocks, passive income, mortgages, credit scores, highly encourage you to subscribe. Really helpful for the channel. Thank you so much for that in advance. And if you think this portion for the Dow Jones portion is going to be helpful for somebody else, it'd be great if you could share with somebody else too. Thank you so much for that. Now, I highly encourage you to watch the Dow Jones portion first of this video, so that way you get a feel of the market overall, what will be happening. And I will have descriptions in the description down below, timestamps for the specific stocks, because obviously you're not going to watch all of them. You're going to watch the stocks that pertain to you. So just head to the description down below so you could click on the timestamps. Again, highly encourage you to watch the Dow Jones portion, so that way you could at least get a feel of the market, because there will be some correlation here and there. Now, quick disclaimer like always before I begin, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a professional, and everything I do share with you guys is just my opinion, and it's just my opinion and not advice. So do not buy and sell based off the information I show you or the opinions I do form. I do own shares in BlackBerry, and I've been holding for a second. Okay, so we're going to start off with the Dow Jones, and now just for the new viewers, just in case, we have an upward trend resistance line dating back since the dot-com bubble, more specifically in 1999. So upward trend resistance line 1999, dates are right here. And during the dot-com bubble peak, we actually passed it, but we had a false breakout, and we didn't get back to it ever since 2018 right here. Potentially, I guess, passed a little bit, but either way, back tested the resistance line again just before the pandemic twice. So here's February 2020, had a drop down during the pandemic, formed an upward trend support line right here. So touch point right here, touch point right here, and touch point right here. Now we came back above that resistance line since the dot-com/1999, which was awesome. This is why I'm bullish. So we had a false breakout first, right? Then had a false breakout to the bottom side, went back up above the resistance line. If you want to know why I'm bullish besides just for this fact, including fundamentals, I have a video that I did post. It's going to pop up here. I highly encourage you to watch it, and I'll be updating it soon too as well. It's roughly about a week old, I think. And then the thing is, though, the plan was we had three touch points right here, 1, 2, 3. The plan was to bounce off this upward trend support line and continue on that upward trend support line. Unfortunately, we broke through. You can see right here, we broke it, and then now we bounced off on the upward trend resistance line from the dot-com bubble /1999, but now it's acting as a support. It almost acted as support here too as well, but it didn't necessarily bounce off it completely. So the question is, what's going to happen for tomorrow, March 2nd? And a couple things could happen. I'm going to try to draw the line, but the line sometimes messes up. We could just bounce off this upward trend support line as resistance, or bounce down to it, and then hopefully bounce back up to the upside as support again. Unfortunately, though, there is a chance that if that does happen and we come back for a second test on this upward trend resistance line, but now acting as support, there is a chance that we could break through it if we have to test it once again. That's what I'm afraid of a little bit. So what I'm hoping for is that we end up bouncing up to the upside. That's the thing. So now if I go to the month chart, you guys noticed this channel before, like I've shown in the previous videos, but we ended up, here's the upward trend support line, by the way, breaking through it. Here's the upward trend resistance line since the dot-com bubble, right? Let me delete some of these lines too, so that way it's more clean. But we bounced off twice from the upward trend resistance line since the dot-com bubble, created as support. And then right here, we're above, this is in terms of the month moving chart. We're above both moving averages. MACD line is in the positive, but it looks like it's trying to come down to the negative, but we'll see if we can bounce up like this, or I'm not drawing on it, but either way, we can still go up to the upside. Now, what I think is going to happen, I'll tell you guys in terms of if we go low, hypothetically, how low will we go? If we go high, how high will we go? If you want to know to the actually, I'll play out the scenario. So the first scenario, I think what might happen is we might go down to roughly about 31,000. When I measured it was like 31,200 or 250. Sorry about that. 31,250 or 31,300, somewhere around there. The reason why is you could see right here at this level, That's what it was. This level right here. So you get touch point, touch point, touch point, all the way through multiple touch points. It's showing us 31,484, but that wasn't necessarily the right one when I measured it. I guess it might be the 31,362. But I remember when I measured it was 31,250. But either way, somewhere around that ballpark. So let's just say 31,362, and it would come down to that. And then I'm expecting to bounce back up either at that level or these moving averages, one of these levels. And then I'm expecting, even if it hits and back tests come back down, hit the support levels and bounce up and break through to the upside. Now, if it goes to the upside, it's going to have issues with the $32,009.60, the all-time high at the moment, just because these levels are extremely hard to break, even just to get back up to the all-time high, right? So there's that. If it does pass it, there was a potential of this one, which it's not the cleanest upward trend resistance line when it comes to drawing it. I'm drawing it really quickly. When I measured it, it was about 32,180, or technically 32,200 on the dot. But I'm not that optimistic for that to happen tomorrow. I think tomorrow we'll be getting back up to the $32,009.60, somewhere around there, plus or minus $10. But if you think it's going to consolidate, I could see us easily consolidating between 31,000. Let's just say, sorry about that, 31,254, somewhere around there, to 31,600. Wow, 666. Pretty strange, but we could go back and forth between those levels. Now, if you think it's going to go to the downside, we could be coming back down to 30,940. I don't think it's going to go any lower than that, because even if we hypothetically, so if you think that we're going to come down and then break through this level, like I stated earlier, yes, it is possible, but I don't think that would necessarily happen tomorrow. I think that would happen the next trading day. So I would say 30,930 would be the lowest, 940, somewhere around there. Actually, the exact, I guess, 940, somewhere around there. But if you think worst case scenario, we're going to just drop and start tanking, 30,647. Now, if we break that level, that is not good, because I don't think that would equate to more than being a false breakout. I think, again, like I stated in the last video, if we go lower than 30,600, then that would start meaning that it's more than a false breakout, in my opinion. It could be it all depends. We have to assess it day by day, but that's in my opinion. So hopefully we end up going to the upside. I'm still overall bullish. I think this is a good sign overall from what we're doing in terms of bouncing off the upward trend resistance line and creating a support. And then potentially, if you could distinguish these lines, it looks like we have overall that we have a chance to going up to the upside of the support line. So like right here, this upward trend support line dating back from the bottom of the pandemic, we could get back above it and then start counting it as an actual support line once again. So we'll see what happens. Now for BlackBerry is very interesting, really awesome stuff. But for the new viewers, just in case, we have an upward trend support line dating back since October 2020, back tested in November, back tested in December, back tested in January 2021. And then right here, what happened was we had a false breakout, the 963 event, and then we had a false breakout again. But we bounced back up, so that's good. We have an upward trend support line. The only thing is that we did break it, but we're above the short moving average and we're below the long moving average. MACD line is in the positive, so that is ideal. The only issue I have is I'm optimistic because this could potentially act as a bottom, right? And if it does, that's awesome. Then we have to break through this downward trend resistance line that I showed in the last video, and I'll elaborate more on that. The only issue I have for tomorrow is there's this downward trend resistance line that at first I thought it was just a small downward trend resistance line to maybe not even fully include, right? And I was like, it has 2 touch points. It's not really that strong, but it does coincide with the long moving average, right? Because even if we go up, we might get knocked down by the long moving average, right? It might not look like that exactly by the time we get to it, but either way, we might get knocked down because of it, right? But when I extended the downward trend resistance line further, it actually matched, and it was crazy. It matched exactly where the January 27th, January 28th peaks were. Like, so it has a touch point right here in January 27th, and in 2021, by the way, and it has the a touch point at the peak of January 28th pre-market. So it somehow, and like, watch, let me just show it just in case, because I know about it, but you guys don't know. So touch point right here, touch point right here, and then if I zoom into towards the other day, last trading day, or the third trading day or something like that, 2 touch points right here, right? So we got 4 touch points. So this downward trend resistance line could be pretty strong, and that's what I'm afraid of. So I'm a little bit mixed up for tomorrow. I'm 50-50. So the reason why I'm saying that is there's a chance that, yeah, we could go a little bit lower and then go down to like 1062, let's just say, bounce on the moving average, the short moving average, and come back up, get knocked down again at the roughly about 1097, probably even $11, then come back down, and hopefully the lowest we come back down is 1082 and bounce back up and break through that downward trend resistance line. That's what I'm hoping for, but that might not happen. What might happen though is by middle of the day, we might end up continuing down on this downward trend resistance line and hopefully breaking off by midday, if I'm not mistaken. Because what will happen is we don't probably, these timings are a little bit off, but hopefully they're correct. We need to bounce off this upward trend support line, because even though we came back above the upward trend support line that dates back since October, the problem is once you kind of have a false breakout, you have to, not always though, you have to somehow confirm that it's back in play, and we haven't fully done that yet. To do that, we would have to, like, at one point, not necessarily tomorrow though, we could do it like sometime in the future, right? And come down and bounce off it again to confirm that it's an actual upward trend support line once again that's fully back in play, right? Now, if you think it's going to go down, so like always, I'm going to cover if it goes down, how low it will go. If it goes high, how high it will go. If it consolidates, where it'll consolidate. And if anything changes dramatically, I'll pin it down, or I'll comment down below and I'll pin it so that way you guys can see it. And I'll try to do my best. Sometimes I end up becoming occupied with something else that I might not be able to do it as quickly as possible as I would like, but I'll try to do my best. And in terms of how low it'll go, now the thing is though, we have major resistance at $10.92. You can see we close at 10.91 anyway, and the next support level we have is around roughly about 10.44, or the next level we have, but it's going to be support, hopefully, is 10.44, 10.54 if we do go down. Now there is multiple levels between 10.92 and 10.44, 10.54. Like for example, there's a level at 10.88, 10.83, 10.74, 75, and 72, 10.72, 10.69, and I believe 10.60 on the dot, 10.59. But we're trying to look at major levels, and if we're going to come down pretty quickly, the levels that we will be looking at is 10.44, 10.54, and then the next one is 10.27, 10.37. Now 10.37, 10.27 is going to be major support, because that's going to put us back at this level right here. I don't expect us to go any lower. If we do go lower, we could have a false breakout at the $10 price point, $10.02, $10.05, 10.11, 10.12. There's pretty good support right about here anyway, and you could hypothetically include 9.95. But I'm going to get worried once we get to that level, because if we don't bounce back up from the 9.95, the issue is what's going to happen is we might trickle down to 9.88, 9.83, 9.63, 9.55, and 9.50. 9.63, we need to like literally bounce. The only thing we could afford to have is a flash crash and then come back up, or like not a flash crash, false breakout, like flash false breakout. It would have to happen pretty much early in the day and be really quickly and bounce back up. Otherwise, we're going to start relying on the other upward trend support lines that I showed in the previous videos. And but either way, I'm overall optimistic for BlackBerry still. I'm still bullish, optimistic, long-term wise and everything. But there's a reason why I'm optimistic. So, and I'm going to cover the upside. So the reason why I'm optimistic is because, first of all, we got back up above the support lines, right? this support line, upward trend support line, and not even just that. So if you look at this, if you go back to my $100, so I have two videos. I have a $180 the $180 stock price, BlackBerry stock price evaluation video in terms of why I evaluate it, why their revenues will be skyrocketing and all that stuff, right? And then I also have a second video in terms of the $180 price prediction target breakdown as to when we'll hit these prices in the future. And one of the things I do show is that we have a downward trend resistance line. By the way, both those videos will pop up at the end if you're interested in it, or if they don't, they'll be there. My channel is roughly only about a month old. Hopefully it's easy to find in case worst case scenario. So there's a downward trend resistance line dating back since the 2008 all-time high. There's a touch point right about here, 2011 as well. Multiple touch points, right? 2018, 2019. And then we break through and then we bounce off this downward trend resistance line, but act upon it as support, right? Now, the reason why I'm highlighting this and why I'm optimistic still is for two things. Like I stated in that video, is when you break major downward trend resistance levels, the run-up ranges from 6 months to a year to 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years. I believe there was 4 years when I covered that video as well. But if you want to be completely conservative, we have, I would say it's fair to say you have a 6-month run-up. And the time that we broke that line was roughly about December 1st, right about here. You can see the dates down here, by the way. So here's the downward trend resistance line. December 1st, we broke it. And then here's the back test to as a support, back testing it, right? So if you count December 1st, add 6 months, you're looking at, if my math's not incorrect, you're looking at end of April, beginning of May kind of time frame, right? Or maybe May completely. So we're not even close to that point at least. And if you're thinking you're a little bit more optimistic, then you're looking at the 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, 4 years. I would say most likely it's going to be a 1 year, 2 year if you were thinking just on this, like the sake of the downward trend resistance line momentum. So there's that. And then also for the fact that we had the false breakout and came back up above the upward trend support line. So this could hypothetically be the bottom for continuous growth, right? So that's what I'm hoping for, because this upward trend support line is the one that the one I'm banking on that's going to carry us to $30 a share by September. That's what I'm expecting. Again, this is all just my opinion. This is not advice. So do not buy and sell based off the information I'm giving you. But yeah, so there's that. Now, if we think that we're going to go to the upside, first of all, we need to break this downward trend resistance line, and not even just that. Let's just say if we do break it, we have two levels to break right off the bat from the early morning. Hypothetically, is this moving average, long moving average plus the downward trend resistance line that was from January 27th to January 28th, right? So the levels that we need to break is 1092. Then we have to break $11 or $11.02, $11.04, $11.05. Then 1112. 1112 is major level because it's right about the moving average. So the moving average is at 1112. This downward trend resistance line starts off at like 1109 all the way. It just starts trickling down all the way as the day goes by. So it's going to be hard to like actually give you these numbers, but mainly I would say if we end up passing like 1108, 1109, we're already past the downward trend resistance line, so that's good. Hopefully it's not a flash, like a false breakout, because if it's a false breakout and it's real quick, like when they go up quickly, they tend to come back down quickly. That's the unfortunate part. But what you have is if you break 1109 and you break 1112, because then you pass the downward or the moving average, then you start becoming almost more like in better shape, because the next level you have is obviously in better shape, but you have 1127, 1128, the next resistance level. The next level after that is 1133. I'm trying to get through these points quickly because these are the more important points. So 1148 and 1150 is more important. It's going to be difficult to pass these levels though. 1127, 1128, 1133. If you focus on the numbers that are giving us difficult times, even if you don't analyze the graphs and all that stuff, just by noticing the numbers that take us a while, you could almost tell without even looking at the graph, these levels are pretty difficult to pass. But either way, we need to pass 1148, 1150, 1153, give or take. I remember it's somewhere 1148, 1150 for the most part. The 53, 52 are more like false breakouts. But once we pass that, then yes, we have more resistance level to the upside. I remember it was like 1173, stuff like that. But I'm more focused at $12.03 because once we pass $12.03, we break through this downward trend resistance line that dates back since hypothetically January 25th. I heard you, like there's a couple touch points here and there, but let's just say this one, February 1st, because that one looks like it's not a really strong, it's not a really strong touch point. So this one is January 28th touch point right here, and then multiple touch points all the way across, multiple touch points right here too as well. So if we break through this, we're in good shape. We need to break $12.03, and then once we do, just to make sure we actually fully break it, we need to pass basically $12.45 and $12.50 to break through this resistance level. Again, there are more resistance levels throughout the way, but I'm trying to cover the major ones. So that way, like once we break them, we build up more momentum to the upside. And we're not in the clear. If you watch my other video, I think it was probably a week ago, the level we need to really pass is like $13, and I can't remember exactly the dollar amount, sorry about that, but I think it's let's just say $13.38. It was more like $13.40, $13.50 from what I remember, $13.48 probably, maybe not $13.38, but I will keep you guys posted again, like always, in the comment down below, and I'll pin it so that way you guys can see it and know for sure. So overall, it's a 50-50 mix. We'll see what happens. We could bounce off the upward trend support line. We could get knocked down by the downward trend resistance line right here. Probably knocked down by the moving average. I'm optimistic though. I think we're in good shape. MACD line is still in positive, even though this is a monthly chart. I think we're still good. I think we're going to break through these levels tomorrow, probably. Hopefully we'll see. But yeah, so now for GameStop. GameStop's really interesting, really awesome stuff. Before I get into the graph, before I get into the graph, I want to show you guys one thing. So for the short positions, it seems like it decreased though, but it's still shorted by a lot. We have by January 15th, 2021, short positions were 61 million and 61.78 million shorted shares. Sorry about that. I can't talk. It's late at night. Sorry about that. But as of February 18, 2021, it's 16.47 million. So it dropped significantly lower. We have share shorted in terms of float, 60.35%. Shares shorted in terms of outstanding, 23.61%. I will explain it in the future video what these actually mean. If you guys don't know what they mean, let me know, comment down below, and I'll explain further in the future video. But it's still shorted quite a bit, so there's still obviously the chance for being short squeezed. And if I go back to the graph, the reason why I say it's very interesting, just for the new viewers, just in case, but before I get to that, we have an upward trend support line dating back since September 2020. You can see just a bunch of touch points if I actually zoomed in to show you fully. And we have another one down here, upward trend support line dating back since December 2020, and multiple touch points as well. Now, for the one back in September 2020, you did unfortunately break down through it, unfortunately, but it was almost justified because not before meeting here, but right about here, this part is justified because you had a downward trend resistance line dating back since January 28, 2021. Again, can't talk. But touch points right here, and then you can see touch points right here. It was just pretty much you could see it night and day. And you did pass it, so that was good. That support line kept you guys through, which was perfect. But then you got knocked down, had a false breakout, but then you bounced off it completely to the upside, which was awesome, and then got back up to the support level. The only thing is though, you did have a false breakout a little bit, but they were minute false breakouts, so they're not that much of a big deal. And then you created an upward trend support line, which I'm kind of impressed about this because it's only had 2 touch points. When I drew it, I was like, there's a chance, but it's not that strong. You guys went up, got above both moving average at the time being, went up, straight up. The only problem is you guys got knocked down by a couple moving averages that I mentioned in the past, and then formed a downward trend resistance line. So this is where you're at right now, and it's still in good shape. So you have this upward trend support line, downward trend resistance line. Technically this is not in play at the moment. The thing is though, you are above both moving averages, so these could the reason why I'm mentioning it, because you could bounce off them to the upside. That's the thing. When you're below them, they act as resistance. When you're above them, they act as support. And MACD line is roughly about in the positive, you can see right there, but it's trying to cross over to the negative. Hopefully it doesn't. hopefully you guys start bouncing back up to the upside. Now, in my opinion, I think you guys are gonna hopefully bounce up to the upside, in my opinion. So it would end up going like this and then bouncing. You might get knocked down by the upward trend support line that will act as resistance a little bit, and then you come back down to like this level 1118 and bounce back up and break through. So I'm gonna cover the upside first, and then I'm gonna cover the consolidation phase or the downside. So like always, I cover the upside, downside, or upside, consolidation, and downside. I don't just cover one viewpoint just in case. So if you were to go to the upside, you have quite a bit of support, by the way. Before I cover the upside like fully, I just want to say the support levels in case you open up to the low side is you have support at the 1014, 1007 because of this short moving average, right? Here's the long moving average, here's the short moving average. If you were expecting to bounce off or a little bit consolidate on that level a little bit, you're looking at the levels of $114 to $107. Somewhere between here constantly will be support. Now you have resistance / support at these levels as well, $118, $112. So the 112 will act as support if you're above it. Same with these levels. If you're above them, they'll act as support, but it's quite a bit of resistance at the 118 anyway. So that's the issue. But once you pass that level or open above it, because you're already closed at the 120, then the next level that you have that is pretty major is $130 and $137, right? If you pass the 130 to 137, the next level you have is 142, 140, which I believe is right about here. So 140, when I measured it, it was 140, 142. It might show us 139, 138 right now, but it's roughly that level. Then the next level you have is 150 to 157, which I did not draw the line, but either way, it's 150 to 157. It's mainly $150, by the way. The only thing is, though, I include 157 because it was multiple false breakouts to the upside that you guys kept on getting knocked down every single time you went up to that level. Then the next level you have is 170 to 177, and you guys been having major difficulties getting past that. That's pretty much right here. You see that ballpark right there? That's pretty much what it is for the most part. And then the next level, so in my opinion, I don't think you guys are going to pass that tomorrow. I hope you guys do. If you do, then the next level you're going to have issues with is 198, 199, 200. That's going to be extremely difficult to pass. But if you do, I'm going to include two more. The next levels you're looking at is about the 233, 234, 235 price point. And then after that, you're looking at the, 253, 254. And specifically what you need to do, keep in mind these levels, even if you pass them, if they're a quick false breakout, like if they're done pretty quick, you could come back down. That's a problem. You need to actually like solidify breaking through them by getting to another major level, and then you could come back down to that level and have it as support instead of resistance. That's the thing. Unless if you just for like people that like to know, unless if you literally go like this and then you come back down, even if you passed all these levels, if you go up to major levels really, really quickly, then all those levels that you broke through, they don't have enough time to hypothetically act as support within that quick amount of time. That's the downfall. But if you want to cover the false breakouts, you need to pass to 260. So $260. If it's not done too super quickly, then you could be good for the upside. And at 260, you'll be start going up to back up to hopefully, in my opinion, back up to the 300 level, $400 level, and that'll be completely back in play. But we'll see. Now, in terms of consolidation, from what I measured last time, it was, it's still about the $84, $86 to the, 223, I think, last time I measured it. I'll just to be safe and sorry, I'll be 121. I should have fully measured it. Sorry about that. But yeah, 84, 86 to 121. It might be 123, but I'm slightly forgetting a little bit. Now, if you start going down completely, in terms of you think that it's just going to get destroyed and knocked down, then you have support at $100 price point. It's pretty good support. And yes, you have more support between the $100 price point and the next level, which is $86.42. But the thing is, though, I'm trying to cover you guys in terms of the major support levels. And the support levels between this, just in case if you want to know, is the $97 price point and $93 price point. So you have support at $93 and $97. But mainly, if you're coming down, you're looking at the major one, which is $86.42. Again, the other day it was a false breakout. It hit $86 clean. But from what I measured, again, by the way, I don't know everything. I could be wrong all the time. So just keep that in mind. Take everything with a grain of salt. But roughly around $86 anyway. Now, if you think it's going to bounce off the long moving average, that is a play that could happen and bounce up to the upside, right? And if that's the case and you think that's going to happen, then you're looking at the support at the $75 to $80 price point by the time it meets, right? Average, give or take, $75, $80. And hopefully it does happen like that. Then the next level you have, if it breaks through that, if it breaks through the long moving average, you're looking at support at $70 price point. And I'm going to get to this because this is the interesting part for you guys. In case if it literally starts like wrecking havoc and it's just dying, right? If that's the case and it goes below $70, you're headed at the $63, and it's mainly like the bottom. So there is support at $63 besides just this level right here, this upward trend support line that dates back since the September 2020, right? And but once you get to $62, 63, which again, 63 on its own is a major support level, but 62, 63 based off this upward trend support line, by the time it meets, it will be the bottom where it hopefully bounces up to the upside if it hits this line, this upward trend support line that I'm doing a pretty bad job drawing it. Then if you want to account for false breakouts, if it like goes under just for a little bit and bounces up, then you could from what I saw and calculated and like checked out from the graph, it was $61 or $60.24 to be exact. And hopefully it's a false break. If you think it's just gonna start going horrible, hopefully it's a false breakout and bounces up to the upside as a worst case. Again, like always, I'm gonna comment down below in the video and pin it if anything drastic happens, where if you guys break way more major levels or go to the upside in a more optimistic way. So I'll keep you guys, I'll try to do my best like always. Now for AMC is very interesting as well. And actually, before I get to the graph as well, I'm going to cover the short positions for AMC. Now for AMC, short positions have increased, which is pretty interesting. You guys had 44.67 million shares shorted as of January 15th, 2021. And where was it? Right about here. February 12th, 2021, you guys had short positions increased about almost 4 million to 48.13 million shares. And short shares of float was 16.91%. And short shares of outstanding is 14.2%. Now, by the way, again, comment down below if you want me to explain these in a future video of the difference in terms of float and outstanding. I'll try to do that. But this is not crazy amount of short position shorted, but it's enough to still be a potential, like a good in terms of like short squeeze effects, right? Mainly, the way I perceive you guys in terms of overall play, I perceive you guys as a partial short squeeze and a partial play of the long term in terms of long-term investment, because ideally, because they raised capital and all that stuff to survive, they had raised enough capital to survive for a year, which is good because their operating cost is roughly about a little bit over 800 million per year, and they raised pretty much close to that for the full coverage. So they're good for a year. By the time everything opens, they'll be in good shape. So then the stock would start hopefully stabilizing back to the normal levels, right? So that's the thing. So you have two plays, short squeeze play plus long-term investing wise. Again, this is just my opinion. It's not advice. So again, do your own research, due diligence before buying and selling. And if we go back to the graph, the reason why I say it's interesting, and for the new viewers to cover it, we have a downward trend resistance line dating back since basically 2016. We had touch points right across here, a couple touch points right here. And then if we come down here, we had a false breakout, and then we got knocked down by the long moving average right here, false breakout during this phase right here, came down and are trying to come back up right across here, right? Now, if I go to the month moving chart, it looks awesome. You guys are, in my opinion, I think you guys are in great shape. You have an upward trend support line right here, dating back since January 2021, and then you can see touch points right here as well. So multiple touch points, had a downward trend resistance line right here with multiple touch points. If I zoomed in, you guys could see them a lot better. But you guys broke through that resistance level, consolidated, bounced on the upward trend support line right here, and then went up to the upside, broke through that resistance level that I showed earlier. The only thing is though, you couldn't you bounced off it twice, tried to confirm it and go to the upside, unfortunately got knocked down, and then you had an upward trend support line right here, broke through that too, unfortunately, but then you formed another upward trend support line right here. So one touch point right here, touch point right here, and then there's another touch point right here, but I drew on top of it so you can't really see it, but there's 3 touch points right there regardless. The reason why I drew this is there's a potential that this could be an upward trend support line. So this is where you guys are at right now, and hopefully this actually does confirm as an upward trend support line. We'll see. So far it's iffy. You have only 2 touch points that I could see, and it's not really hypothetically, yeah, it's like, I don't know, I'm not doing a good job, but either way, in terms of like moving the line. But upward trend support line, hopefully it carries through. If it does, you guys could get back up, and like always, I'm going to cover the upside. If you guys do go up, if you can consolidate, where you're going to consolidate. If you go lower, where you're going to go low. Now you are above both moving averages, so that's good. Again, this is the 1 month moving chart, and then the MACD line is in the negative, unfortunately. So if you were to continue on this upward trend support line, what could happen is, and by the way, the only thing is though, the one thing that could hypothetically keep you guys down is, I didn't measure from like previous times, maybe I should have, but you hypothetically have like a downward trend resistance line at one point that might interfere. The only thing is I wouldn't take this fully because this is almost like an amateur line that I'm just drawing right now, but it could be in play that could knock you down. So in case, or I'm going to go to the upside first, and then I'll cover the downside. So if you were to go up, the first resistance levels that you would have to pass, if you were, because it looks like you guys are going to open in the low $9 price point. So let's just say hopefully this support level acts. So you would have support at the $8.97, $8.99, $9.03. So again, $8.97, $8.99, $9.03, $9.03. If this holds you guys through, then that would be perfect. Then the next levels that are going to end up acting as resistance, unfortunately, is $9.12 and $9.13. If you guys pass that, then the next level you're looking at is $9.45 resistance to pass. These are all, like, yes, there is more resistance levels in between those levels, but I'm trying to cover the major resistance levels, right? Now, the level that is going to be significant, and it's going to be a really difficult time for you guys to pass, is $9.73 and $10.05. If you guys end up passing this level, specifically the $10.05, that will put you guys back up into play right here above this line. So hopefully in that, like above the downward trend resistance line. And hopefully you guys do that, because then if you do that and hopefully confirm it and bounce off it, etc., then you guys are in great shape. You guys are going to start hopefully going up to the upside, and hopefully it's not a false breakout, just like it was right here. Now, the next level, if you're extremely optimistic that it's going to pass that, I think it's going to be difficult. I don't think it's going to happen tomorrow, but in case if you think it is, it's going to be $10.26. $10.26 is going to be difficult, extremely difficult to pass for tomorrow, in my opinion. Again, anything's possible. Nobody knows for sure. So this is just basically just looking at trend lines for the most part. Now, if you think it's going to go to the downside, again, we have support at the $8.97, $8.99, $9.03. That might take us a little while to break through if you think it's going to start going to the downside. But the next support level, even though there is more support levels to the downside, the major one is $8.50. Then if it does break $8.50, the next level you're looking at is $8.34, $8.39, and then it starts trickling down to $8.24, $8.28, right? And the reason why I'm saying that, so first of all, the $8.44, actually, oh, no, wait, that's why, okay, because I was like, so it's showing $8.44 here, $8.45. What I'm trying to say is the short moving average, by the time it crosses through, it's going to be at the $8.50, plus there's resistance at these, like, I drew these lines because these are lines that are like major resistance levels and or support levels, depending on if you're above or below them. It's $8.50. So by the time you meet with the short moving average, by the time you meet the resistance slash support or a support line, it should act as good support. So $8.50 could be a good support level. Hopefully it holds you guys back up, and that way you bounce back up to the upside. So for example, let's just say you have quite a bit of support at the $9, consolidate for a while, then you drop down to the $8.50, hopefully bounce back up to the upside, and then form another upward trend support line to continue to the upside to break this resistance level right here. So hopefully that does happen. But again, if you're not thinking that's going to happen, to continue down to the downward trend, downward levels, so that way you know all of them. The next level you have is, yes, there is support at the $8 price point, but I would say that if you broke the $8 price point, then you would start completely trickling down to the 763, 766 level, which I believe is support right about, oh, actually, oh no, sorry about that. Before I get to that, so yeah, 763, 763 to 766, but this upward trend support line could hold you through, which is roughly about the 780, 790, but actually, oh, that's probably why I didn't include it. Okay, so it depends on when you drop. If you drop early in the day, then you do have support at the 789, 788, 789, 790, right? But if you don't drop right away, then it's support at the $8 price point for the most part. And I don't know why I had the space here. It's probably I should have had the $8 here, but $8 support at $8. But now if you start trickling down, that's where you get to the 763, 766, right? And then once you break through that, you have support at the 736, but the thing is too, 736, okay, yeah, so 736, but by the time you meet this line of long moving average, that might help you where you're going to have major support at the 736 plus you'll have support at the long moving average where you hopefully bounce up to the upside, which is pretty close at this level. So it keeps increasing as the day goes by, so it's kind of difficult to call it out, but it's roughly around this $7.36 level. Now the $7.20 is this upward trend support line right here. Depends as when you're going to pass it, and not even just that, this is a support level as well at one of these levels. So $7.20 is the next major level. Hopefully you don't break it, because then you would end up breaking this upward trend support line that dates back since January 2021. And if you want to count for false breakouts, you're looking at the level of 703, 699. There is support at 707 and 711, I believe, from what I remember, but it's mainly at $7.03 and $6.99. So that would count as false breakout. I personally don't think anything major like that's going to happen. That's why I'm not including anything more than a false breakout. Again, if anything happens, I'll comment down below and I'll pin it like always, so that way I let you guys know if anything drastic happens. But that's the whole spiel. Again, keep in mind, this could be potential risk for tomorrow. Hypothetically downward trend resistance line that, yes, it doesn't look like, watch, if I extend it, you have a touch point here, even though it's not the cleanest touch points, whatever, 1, 2, and hypothetically 3. If I move it down, it looks like it's actually pretty decent. I don't know. Hopefully you guys don't get knocked down. Technically that's not a touch point, that is a touch point. So 3, hopefully you guys pass it and do well. This is without pre-market, so it's pretty difficult. Now for Nokia is interesting as well. And if I go to the 5-year chart, just for the new viewers, we have a downward trend resistance line, or double downward trend resistance line that dates back since 2000, 2001. And you can see right here, you back tested right here, did not pass it, but you have an upward trend support line that has 1 touch point, 2 touch points, and technically you might be doing a 3rd touch point, but we'll see. Now, even if you do, the plan is, if you do have a touch point, the plan is fully to, at one point, once you get to that level, bounce up to the upside and start getting back to this resistance level and break through it. But we'll see. Nothing is guaranteed. That's the problem. So obviously it's the problem, but whatever. So the question is, what's going to happen for tomorrow? Well, you guys were doing good towards the end of the day / after hours. You had an upward trend support line. You hypothetically have a downward trend resistance line. Actually, you do, because here's hypothetically a touch point right here, touch point right here, touch point right here. So you almost pretty much confirmed it. The reason why I'm saying pretty much confirmed it is because these are not the cleanest touch points in my opinion, but there's still 3 touch points nonetheless. You're below both moving averages. The MACD line's in the negative. If I had to guess, tomorrow, even if you guys did open up, you would end up getting knocked down by a bunch of things. Either the short moving average, the long moving average, the resistance line. There's just a lot of things that could keep you down. If you hopefully open up to the upside, the level that you need to pass first is, because it looks like you guys going to be opening lower below it, is the $4 price. Sorry about that. $4 price point. And then once you pass $4, you're looking at $4.02, $4.03. Now, if you're completely optimistic, the next level after 402, 403 looked like you guys had a couple issues at the 409, but mainly 413. You need to pass 413, 414. Let me see if I can show it right now. So that way, just people just don't say you're just saying anything. So yeah, you see 413 right there. You can see touch point right about here. One sec. I gotta just like balance it. Touch point right here, touch point right here. Support level touch points, like major amount of support touch points right here. So 413 needs to be broken. Again, like always, even if you just break it, doesn't mean you fully broke it, because it could just be a false breakout. And if it's done really quickly, it's usually a false breakout. So you have to like confirm it to get to the next level. I would say I would get to that. Like always, I'm going to comment down below and pin it if anything drastic happens. I think it's going to be extremely difficult for you guys to pass 413 tomorrow. But if you do, I'll comment down below and let you know. Now, if you do consolidate, the thing is though, you could, all right, before I get to consolidating, you guys do have a major support at 398. The only thing is though, it's questionable. Hopefully you guys do bounce up from the 398 and go to the upside. That's what you would want to do. So if you open up at like 399 or 398, that's good. Then you could have support and bounce up to the upside. If you open lower than 398, then you're going to start trickling down, in my opinion, to the consolidation period or like levels where it's 391 to 395, and it's just going to consolidate back and forth. Yes, you'll have a false breakout to 398 or probably a low breakout to 390, but most likely it's just going to be consolidating at around 391, 395. Now, if you think it's going to go even lower than that and just start getting knocked down, like let's just say it just basically goes like this, goes up, probably even passes the short moving average and just gets knocked down, bounces up, gets knocked down, completely just starts trickling down. The absolute lowest I could see is 388, but again, nobody knows for sure. So the next levels would be it goes in 2 cents increments if you've seen my past videos, 386, 384, 382, and 380, which is the weirdest thing because when I checked it, I was like, this is crazy how it happens, but not always the case. One time it was 383, where it just acted as support and bounced back up. So those would be the levels. Absolute lowest, if you don't want to go with my opinion, would be $3.80. I don't think it would be going any lower than that, but we'll see how it plays out. Hopefully, like, best of luck, and hopefully you guys break 413 tomorrow. I'm not fully optimistic for tomorrow, unfortunately, but at least hopefully you guys hold somewhat stable tomorrow, so that way at least the next trading day you could tackle that 413 and then start going up to like the 422, 423 level, and then the 430, I believe, or 431, somewhere around there. But I'll cover that in the next video. Hopefully it works out. But thanks again for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. If you guys do like the video, consider dropping a like. It really helps the channel. Really appreciate it. And if you do like videos in terms of stocks, passive income, mortgages, credit scores, financial freedom, highly encourage you to subscribe so you can be notified when those videos do come out. Thanks again for the awesome support. And if you do have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. I'll try to answer them as soon as possible. And thanks again for awesome support. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.